When I was in the 8th grade of school, I took a paper out, a penny of paper, to buy my first telescope. 3,000 newspapers later, Edmund Scientific Space Conqueror 3-inch reflecting telescope. That was my first foray into optics. Well, I grew up in rural south central Louisiana. My parents were both uneducated. They worked as sharecroppers. My mom and I hoed cotton for 50 cents an hour to pay my first semester tuition in college. I went to college to study astronomy and physics at Louisiana State University. While I was in military service, I was part of a brand new effort to build high-energy laser system. Then decided I wanted to have a career in the academic world, and that ultimately led me to UCF, where I was hired to be the first director of CREAL, the Center for Research and Education in Optics and Lasers, now the College of Optics and Photonics.
I don't think UCF would be anywhere near where we are as far as a major metropolitan research university without MJ.
MJ is the best guy I've ever worked for in my life.
He had a way of inspiring people, again, by leading by example.
He encourages you and he'll push you when he has to. And he likes to, once he sees you going, he says, strike while the iron's hot.
I would say my most significant invention is something called an optical power limiter, a technology that's important to protect very sensitive optics. The first major grant that we had here was from DARPA, the Defense Advanced Projects Research Agency, having to do with this problem of optical power limiters.
CREAL has helped contribute significantly to many of the high-tech startups that have been here within Central Florida. New types of optical glass that can be used to combine high-powered laser beams, to new types of liquid crystals that can be used in sensors and displays.
The incubator was kind of the first thing we did here in entrepreneurship, with the goal of spinning high technologies companies out of the university. So we started small with a 12,000 square foot facility. Now we're one of the largest in the world.
I was chosen, I think, more because of the influence I had in establishing the Office of Research and Commercialization, helping those that are interested in commercializing their technology and encouraging them, providing the support structure that they need.
MJ has been instrumental in creating the International Consortium for Advanced Manufacturing and Research, or ICOMAR, which is recently being opened down in Osceola County. And this center is going to be focused on developing new types of sensors that can be utilized in automobiles, airplanes, etc. With that type of vision, that will create, hundreds if not thousands of jobs and bring money flow into Central Florida on the order of several hundreds of millions of dollars potentially per year.
He's just the nicest guy everyone meet, I guess. There's not a nicer person on the planet. He loves his family, loves his putts around, he loves gators. He's a Cajun, for sure.
Planted them in 1990. Planted every single one of them.
He came from nothing and has been so extremely successful. I think that's saying a lot.
Anybody in a leadership position, the people that you assist and that you mentor sometimes will have a much, much greater an effect than you can personally.
He really changed my life. I didn't know whether to get a master's, PhD, or whether taking out a loan was worth it. And by the end of that conversation, he had offered me an assistantship. I was so excited, I cried. I've now achieved another goal of mine, which is to be an engineer at Lockheed Martin. I hope he just saw, someone who has the potential to go far, and I hope I've made him proud.
MJ is, for me personally, a fantastic cheerleader. Many of the people who wind up getting to know MJ will easily recognize he's very, very approachable and a very, very friendly guy. When I first came here to interview, MJ took me out in his bass boat into the middle of Lake Jessup and said, "So are you going to join us or not? But let me tell you, if you're not, you're going to have to swim back to shore."
I think a lot of inventors in the Inventor Hall of Fame, they owe that rite of passage to MJ. He'll never tell you that he had anything to do with it, but yeah, he does have a lot to do with it.